Hey, folks, it's another deep dive with none other than the man himself, Spencer Bennett. How you doing, Spencer?
I'm doing great, Brad. How are you doing today?
Oh man, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and to quote Bill Murray on Ghostbusters, "Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria." What's going
It,
on in America, man? I mean, what the picture must look like to the rest of the world? I mean, where do you start? Do you start with Joe Biden's speech? Let me start out this speech with two words: "Made in America." Man, it's pretty bad when the left spoofs you. You know what I mean? So what do you
you
what
know,
do you do about that?
I think even they're realizing that Joe Biden is not long for the office. That the
Oh
with the
gosh.
elections coming up, hope everybody got registered to vote. Last day in Texas was
Right.
October 11th, so hopefully
Right.
get registered. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about out there, and of course, we know that Stumbling Joe is not running the country. It's the people behind him, like Valerie Jarrett and Susan Rice and Hussein in the
Right.
basement. So
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, come on, just come with me overseas. I mean, they all saying, your media lies to you, and we're all waiting for you to do something about it. We've got our popcorn. We're waiting for you to rise up. And the shame of it is that so many people hide behind misquoted scripture, and they use that as a reason not to defend their family, not to vote, not to defend their freedoms. And they don't understand that our Constitution was based on none other than the sermon notes by the Black Robe Regiment, those outlaw preachers that King George wanted to kill. No king
yeah,
but Christ. They don't know that. They don't know that. And you know what gets me, Spencer, is that they trust the same media that wants to destroy the nation. And it just baffles me. It's 1 minute they're all corrupt. The next minute you're voting for them. I mean, my goodness, one of the biggest travesties I've ever seen are people believing that the Democrat Party and the Republican Party somehow switched. Well, when did they switch? Because right after the Civil War, they wanted to kill blacks. Republican Party was created just for the purpose of freeing the slaves. The NRA existed in one of its main functions to help freed slaves arm themselves
yeah.
against white liberals. My gosh, KKK, Jim Crow laws. Where do you draw? Planned Parenthood death centers in all the minority neighborhoods. Of course, Trump was getting all kinds of awards before he ran for president. The liberals loved him. Jesse Jackson awards, and
Oh
my
yeah,
gosh,
Sharpton and Jackson would hug him.
oh man. And then of course, after he became president, gave more money to black colleges than any president in US history. He was talking to people. Actually, Ice Cube talked to him about a $500 billion project for the inner city, but you didn't hear that under
No,
Biden. But the list goes on and on and on. When do they switch, folks? Hillary Johnston, first Johnson, goes to neighborhoods and tells black mothers, "Hey, we'll pay you if you don't get married." So they tried to destroy their family unit. It's worked. Then Biden's crime bills, that put away more black fathers, and the Clinton, putting away black fathers. Then Hillary Clinton calling black men predators. Folks, when did they switch? When did they switch? It's ridiculous. But I don't understand. There just seems to be this epidemic of ignorance in our country, Spencer. We've
well,
got to,
definitely a short memory.
yeah,
Hey, Brent.
yeah,
I mean, you've named so many different things where Democrats have been on the Democrat Party has been on the wrong side of history.
right.
And now we're looking at things like the things that they're pushing, which are un-American. Boy, did they have a defection, though, this week when they lost Tulsi Gabbard,
Right.
who went on the news. Now, do I trust Tulsi Gabbard? I don't know. I mean, I know that she's got connections to the WEF. I don't know if those
Right.
connections still exist, the World
Right.
Economic Federation, and
Right.
Klaus Schwab and all his little
You brought
cronies.
that up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there were some things that I didn't like about her, which was, she wanted to ban those assault weapons. Well, we don't sell assault weapons in the United States. We sell sporting rifles that are called AR-15s. It's there was some major pushback I think she got, but there was something always in my spirit that said, she seems to be, and I hate to say this, but too attract, and I don't want to just please take it for what it is, too attractive to be a Democrat.
Well, I know. I hate to say it, but have you noticed the commonality of angry, pasty, frumpy, and sometimes dudes in wigs? You know, I mean, come on, man. It's not looking good. You know, you go from Saks Fifth Avenue to Kmart with the first lady that we have right now, and my gosh, it wasn't that much better before. But
No,
anyhow,
it wasn't. And I don't want to say, that's the only criteria we judge people by.
right.
Okay. I'm just saying, given the optics that we see with the Democrat Party, and that's my nice way of putting it. But I always felt like she would be, and even if she was a moderate Republican, because we know that she's left,
Right.
uh, doesn't necessarily mean I approve of her policies, but there are some good things that she said. I mean, the lady was in the Army. She's a lieutenant colonel,
Oh yeah.
retired Army, dealt with, oh, guess what? Psychological warfare.
Right.
Wow. I want like kind of stuff we're seeing right now with the white hats. And I should have wore a hat today, Brant.
I
should
know.
have
Where's
worn,
your cowboy hat, man? You can rock it.
man, I tell you what, I feel naked. I feel naked. But no, it's just kind of one of those things where I just kind of felt eventually she's going to get it. And evidently this week was the time when she got it. And just a scathing rebuke of the Democrat Party and what they push for. I mean, she's calling the Democrat Party warmongering elite cabal. We've been calling them that for I don't know
I
how
know.
long.
Well,
So,
then you got Mitch McConnell, whose wife is Chinese, directly tied to China with their businesses. You know, you've got Stalwell, the Democrat, who, it seems like if you're a Democrat, you don't get convicted, you don't go to jail. You know,
mm-mm.
even down to Epstein. I mean, and Ghislaine, we still haven't seen the client list because the
No.
client list are they, and it's just amazing. It's like divorce lawyers who go to lunch and drink together. These politicians do the same thing, and they're robbing the people. I guess the question is, how long are you going to put up with it, folks? You know,
Well, until hopefully November 8th, when everybody gets out and votes, and please listen to Brant and I when we ask you and tell you your vote does matter. Uh, don't do the mail-in voting thing, show
no,
up the day of, stand in line and do your voting that way. Because it's harder for them to cheat when they can't do that. If you do a mail-in ballot, then fill it out and then take it down there the day of the election, because that way they don't have a way their algorithms can't keep up when they try to cheat. And let's just face it, folks, Joe Biden has already said he's going to try to cheat again. They're going to try to cheat just like they did in 2020. But I digress. I digress. Let's talk about
well,
the culture war.
talk about the culture war. Oh my gosh. I mean, it seems like, if you're straight, if you're a Christian, if you love America, you believe in a family, and you don't fall for this nonsense of kids in a playground. I'm a unicorn. I'm Spider-Man. I'm Iron Man. Well, that's fine. If you want to believe those things, but demanding others go with it, that's part of the culture war. How about the government wanting to change your child's sex without your permission?
Exactly.
Where do you want to start there, my friend?
Well, that's demonic, obviously. And we know that since Roe versus Wade has been sent back to the state level, uh, that organizations that made a lot of money from the selling of body parts and organs and just horrific things, even including and up to satanic rituals when
Oh
they
yeah.
did those things in their clinics. Now we find out that Planned Parenthood is making a new push to make money. And guess how they're doing it?
Yeah.
Hormone blockers.
Oh.
Hormone blockers, to where they want to give children free hormone blockers, basically to stop them from developing into adolescence and having their bodies change as God would have intended. And then, of course, there's the money making side of this. On the medical side, or the dark medical side, as I like to say, the Goebbels Mangala side, is they want to just basically mutilate children. And can you imagine what this is going to do 20 years down the road if we allow this to continue, where we have a bunch of sterilized children who found out too late, and they were pushed into it by parents who have Munchausen by proxy and are mutilating their children, abusing their children. And you've got this cottage industry that is called Planned Parenthood that has been pushing and providing now these hormone blockers for children. And it's like, I don't know how to say it, Brent, any other than way to say it. It's like the posh people of America who are clueless liberals have decided that instead of getting a small chihuahua, they want to have their child have a sex change.
It's
And
just
that
evil.
it's evil.
It's evil. And again, this goes to Baphomet with the transgenderism, and it's not new, folks. It started many many centuries ago, but it also, people can't handle the truth. They really can't. Jack Nicholson was right, my friend. People can't handle the truth because if they knew, they'd never leave their house. They surely wouldn't be going out and trick or treating on the number one day of child abduction and the
No.
unspeakable. But
But
hey,
but
folks,
again, you've got Christians celebrating and churches doing Halloween or fall
oh
festivals
yeah,
celebrating this day when they should stay as far away from it as possible, trying to be too much like the world. We're not called to be like the world. Christ said,
yeah.
come out of that, come out of that system.
Well, and I hate to say it, Spencer, but pedophiles can find your church too.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
have.
people don't understand that we are fighting darkness. This day and age, it's never been clearer though who's on the light side of the light and who's on the side of darkness. It's by the people whose actions, whose fruit speak louder than words.
Yes.
But my gosh, Spencer, the things you and I have known and been around and researched and talked to people that have survived. And folks, we are in a spiritual war. If you don't know that, God help you. But what can people do? Well, you can pray.
Right.
We still have that promise. If my people called by my name will humble themselves and pray, if they seek my face and turn from their sin, I will hear, I will heal, and I will forgive their land. And I think the praying remnant and those who love Israel, I think, is the only reason why we're not a heaping pile of ashes right now.
Right. Right. Though there are those in our government who'd like to push us that way.
Right.
Um, you know, Brant, really, we see this thing. And if you want to teach your kids and allow them, and if they want to do something wild, say, hey, you want to really do something wild? You really want to do something counterculture? Be a Christian. Yeah. I mean, that's the best act of rebellion against this sick culture is to love the living God and be one of his followers. I mean, that's really what we're looking at. We're seeing a lot of things taking place, though. I'm optimistic about the elections that are coming up. I'm optimistic when I see parents, and I will even say Muslim and Christian parents uniting to take down a school board meeting where they want to teach this garbage, this CRT and this gender confusion to children. And they show up at these school board meetings and they shut them down. They tell them exactly how it's going to be, instead of these Soros-backed school boards and these communists that are in there trying to destroy our country. And folks, that was a joke for so long. Oh, the commies. Oh yeah, they're gone. It's like they're not. They've been here and they have infiltrated so many different areas, not only of our government, was mainly owned, it looks like by the Chinese, but it just trickles all the way down. You see everything. You see these teachers proud of the fact, and I'm not saying all teachers are like this. There's some fantastic teachers out there. I know a lot of them, but you also see the very worst of them out there, and they put this stuff on TikTok where they're proud about tearing down, burning down the system and ruining kids and recruiting kids and taking them to gay bars for family-friendly strip shows. And that's not just isolated to northern or blue cities, folks. It's happening in Texas. And it's got to stop. We have got to make our voice heard. And this leads me probably to my last point. Men, you have surrendered your authority and your fighting spirit to women. That's not a bad thing because the women are out there fighting, but it's a bad thing because you have basically just surrendered and you expect them to do it. And that's got to stop. We have got to start raising real men again. And
Amen.
that's the only thing that is going to really make an impact in this culture. And I think the Bible speaks about that, doesn't it? When he turns the hearts of the fathers back to the children, because I mean, you spoke about it a minute ago. We had the government destroy the black families with welfare. They could have as many children as they wanted. They didn't need a baby daddy around to raise those children. But look at who's committing the most crimes right now: feral youth. Whether that's a convenience store that you saw the video of 15, 20, 30 youth going through a store and trashing it up, or you see people just walking down the street and being beaten and pummeled for no reason other than they're a different color or just because they feel like it. The crime in those neighborhoods, in that demographic, is out of control.
It is.
And it's got to stop. Fathers, we are the only ones that can get a grasp on this. We have the authority. We are ceding our authority and our duty to our families when we don't. If you think, well, I work and I put a check on the table, that's not enough. You've got to be involved in your children's lives in every aspect. And that doesn't mean, well, I signed them up for football, I'm on coach. No, you have to know what's in their school book. You're going to have to get off your rear, off the couch, help your kids with your homework and find out what's in there, what's in the books, what propaganda, what kind of garbage has been approved in these textbooks. If you're just going to say, well, I put a check in the bank every month and that's all I need to do, you're wrong. And our society is paying for it. Decades of that kind of garbage thinking has ruined this country, and it's got to stop. Men, I charge you to take responsibility back. Get back in the word, get back into that relationship with Father through Jesus Christ, and get your life unplugged from this world and back into your family.
Let's speak to that with our time. Men, I started working with men 23 years ago with the ministry I created. And of course, there were a lot of things called Band of Brothers all over the country. And I heard that was beneficial, men's groups for Bible study and prayer and accountability. This went a little further, though, because I didn't want to do boring speakers and bad eggs. You come and leave unchanged. And I didn't want to do just the accountability, which is really great, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Promise Keepers ignited the nation. It scared the left. The DNC wanted to shut it down. And you remember those?
I was in Promise Keepers, man.
I was too.
Rallies.
And you get
awesome.
60,000 men coming back home ready to charge hell with a water pistol, and pastors shut it down.
No.
Only 6% of pastors thought they were leaders. I'm thinking, why the heck are you a pastor if you don't think you're a leader? But that's what it was.
It's kind of sad when your pastor shut down a movement that could improve your church, isn't it?
Well, it is. But again, long time ago, the prophets were taken out of the pulpits and the politicians were put in, and that's a different story. But those pastors who are strong, who are men, and know how to be men, they embrace Promise Keepers, and it helped them. But what we taught with Band of Brothers was a fourfold code of knighthood, that if you embrace at any age, you will be more successful in this life. And as a father, number one is live pure. You don't want to escape into TikTok all the time, although I love TikTok. You don't want to escape once you come home. It's said that most people escape their lives on the weekends, but some of us use the weekends to build a better life. But live pure means that you're not going to be Googling the wrong things after 9 p.m. and you're not going to be escaping into this alpha state of taking in all the Luciferian stuff that's being produced. You want to put good things in your mind. It's part of living pure. You also don't want to be addicted. The average victim of this culture is out of shape, addicted, with a house full of junk and in debt. But the second one, there's live pure, then speak truth. I'll speak the truth. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Spencer, I don't have to remember what I say to anybody. I just tell the truth. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. I was called into a meeting with this arrogant narcissist, and I didn't even know what he heard. He heard that I said something, and Okay, well, I sat down. I said, I don't know what you heard, but if it came out of this mouth, I stand by it. Whatever it is, I just still don't know what it was. But say what you mean and mean what you say. Your life gets simpler, and you also aren't living a double life. Thirdly, live pure, speak truth, right, wrong. You make things right. You forgive yourself. You forgive others. Your life will change when you forgive yourself and you forgive others. And then fourthly, you follow the king. You follow the king. You know, Bob Dylan said that it may be the devil, it might be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. Bob
Mhm.
Dylan was radically saved, you know, back in the day before the religious people drove him right back out into the world. That, you know, live pure, speak truth, right, wrong, follow the king. And when you begin to enact those things in your life, you're going to speak the truth and you're going to speak up against this nonsense. You're going to make time to go to the school board meetings because this is a time, Spencer, when so many men are chasing the money. I've been there, but you're chasing the money. You overwork yourself. You don't have more, you know, than 5 minutes with your child each day. That's not going to cut it. So you might have to reset your life a little bit. You might have to simplify your life a little bit to be a presence in your child's life, you know, and with your family. But we also told the four roles for men: provide, protect, lead, love. I had a symbol, and you've seen it, Spencer: a crown, a sword, a compass, and a heart. Provide like a king. It's much more than money. Provide like a king is provision. What atmosphere am I providing for my child? Am I providing a model of masculinity? Or am I providing a model where I want to be my kid's buddy? That doesn't work. You
Mm-mm.
know, you know, what kind of atmosphere am I providing for my wife? Provide like a king, protect like a warrior. You better be ready to take care of your family, protect your family. You want to protect your kids from this garbage, this pedophilia, Marxist stuff being broadcasted on in the media or in this classroom because they're being paid off. They get paid by the government for your kid to be there. Then they
Yeah,
get
they
paid
do.
by special interest groups who hate our country to teach their garbage. So provide like a king, protect like a warrior, lead like a leader. You do what you say you're going to do. You know what? If something needs to be done, you do it, man. And
Yeah.
and you teach your sons, your daughters. You see something needs to be done, you need to do it. If you need to act, you need. If someone's jumping on a cop, you know, get in there and help them. You need to lead
Don't
like
pull
a
out your
leader,
cell phone.
or yeah, don't pull out your cell phone. And then finally, love like a lover. You love people and use things. You don't use things and love people. Cowards and losers do that. But
Yeah.
you love people and you use things. But yeah, you know, Spencer, that's part of it. In my encouragement to them, you know, we need to tell men to step up, and we need to tell them how. I think a lot of them don't know how. You
No.
know, I mean, you've talked
Well,
about it before, the media, how they portray men in sitcoms and movies.
yeah. Not only that, I mean, today's man is more isolated than they've ever been. They don't meet with groups. Where I remember in Promise Keepers, like you said, 60,000 in a stadium,
Yeah.
praising God and making promises and meeting together, making those promises that I'm going to be different. I'm going to go home and I'm going to invest in my family. I'm going to go home and cultivate the relationship with my God, and I'm going to get in the word because that's going to light my path of what I need to do. But men are more isolated today than they've ever been. They come home from working, they're not going out if they're married. I mean, some maybe, but I remember when you used to be able to have a men's group and everybody wasn't too busy to do that. You
or
actually
or
had,
or you had a wife that was understanding.
right. This is going to make things better, honey, I promise. And but again, like you said, society has isolated males. It has told them it is toxic to be what we are, and that garbage is just that. It's garbage.
Right.
It's who we are. When you quit caring about what other people think, no matter what the cost, and you follow your God and you be the man you're supposed to be, things will fall in line. But we need real men in this country again. We
We
need manly men.
manly, and you know, and it comes from the inside out. You know,
Yeah.
I love being a man, Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
I love saying what I mean and mean what I say. I am successful. I do follow God. I do put God and then family and then friends and things people I care about. My work, facilitates my ability to do all these TV shows I'm doing, you
Mm-hmm.
know. but I'm aligned, man. You know, there's two circles, man. Most people live in this circle, all this chaos, and somewhere there's the cross. Good luck with that. I live in this circle. The cross is in the middle, and everything is balanced. And let me tell you something. I love being a man. And
Amen.
I think if you love being a man and you treat your woman the way a man treats a woman, he should, she's going to love being a woman. And if your kids see that, they're less likely to wonder what gender they are when their blue-haired kindergarten teacher tries to convince them otherwise.
Yeah.
We're in a war right now, guys. And so we have to choose now to stop the world, stop chasing the money, stop trying to be these consumer slaves, these monkeys that stuff their cheeks and run back up to an empty tree, and we become men. I stopped chasing the money and I started investing in people. And you know what, Spencer? The money chases me.
Yeah.
And all that to say is, you know, people like you and me, we have a voice and we have a responsibility. And that's why we're encouraging you folks today. So Spencer, take these last 2 minutes, brother, and tell
All
us the
right.
first place to start.
First thing, I'm just going to ask the Holy Spirit to convict every man that's listened to this message. And if he is convicting you right now, then say, get on your knees and say, Lord, I failed. I have failed in all these areas. I haven't put the things in the right boxes. I have not put you first. And I need you to help me to do this. We can't do it out of our own effort. It's only by and through the Holy Spirit that we can make these things happen, folks. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. But when we try to do it in our own strength, it's impossible.
Right.
But God will make a way when there seems to be no way. And if you raise up a child in the way they should go, they will remain in it when they're older. And that's got to be our focus. The children that we have are arrows in our quiver in our old age.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the weapons that we use to fight with. Those are the weapons that will change society and change this culture. But it won't happen if we as men don't step up.
And men are stepping up. They are beginning to, Spencer. And that's a good word to brothers who are watching right now. You know what? Jesus said, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his very soul?
Right.
And I see a lot of that. And you know, 23 years later, I'm getting calls again to do these Band of Brothers men's events. And I'm going to do them. And I
That's a
don't care
great
about your,
idea.
I don't need your money. I don't want your money. But I want to do it anyway. And if you're serious about taking your place in history, in your destiny, you think you're born to pay bills and die? No, you weren't. You know, you are a line of succession of the blood in your veins of thousands of years, of the culmination of your ancestors' dreams and visions and experiences and talents rest in you right now. And I believe that cloud of witnesses is watching you. And so you can do this, folks. You can let the Lord live in you fearlessly, not caring about the opinions of people who don't know who they are. And I've never have, and I never will bow to the woke crowd. And people don't know who my clients are, so you can't cancel me either. But be encouraged, Spencer. And it's always great being with you. We took a deep dive today, brother.
Yeah, we
But
did. And we needed to.
I'm excited about the next one. And thank you for your charge and encouragement and charge to us men, Spencer. God bless you. And we'll see you next time on the deep dive.